lot about the job.
Shalom. Shalom. Straight up. Something I wanted to bring up this Zoom. But I gotta go get my Bible. Sorry for the lateness. The receptionist to open up the reserve room was running around, so I couldn't get to the desk. And then my phone kept saying load in, load in, load in. So I'm gonna load up the live stream. So mingle with everyone who jumps on. Say shalom, give them a shout out. I'll be right back. What'd you do? What did you do? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Feeling pretty good. Major blessing. Praise the Almighty for the Zooms. Praise the Almighty for the feedback, the laughter, the joy. Thank the Almighty. Appreciate all my brothers and sisters at Tribes United and their children, as well as all the ones that are far off that we don't know, that we haven't met, that we're going to get to the point and get people to repent from their sin and get baptized. I'm looking to bring more souls to the Most High, whoever they lead in our path, that will witness to them, share with them the gospel, show them the errors of their ways, promote them to repent from their sins, encourage them through their fight for salvation. When they go through job loss, or they go through family loss, or they go through any loss standing for the gospel, you will be a living sacrifice. and to know that they have a support team, and that we're trying to get them to make it into the kingdom and do what's right. Live holy and clean and separate onto the Most High. Living a clean life. It feels good to know that when I go through things, if I stay in the city of refuge, I stay in righteousness, that the Almighty is on my side. When I was in the world, I sinned against the Most High out of ignorance. And the city of refuge is a place in the Word when you killed someone, right? But you didn't do it out of willingness. It wasn't premeditated. It was an accident. It was unknowingly. You killed someone. And so, you have to go to the city of refuge until the high priest died. But if you got out that city of refuge, the avenger of blood, usually next of kin, cousin, brother, mother, wife, son, and whatnot, could slay you. So when we are in the world and we sinned against the Most High, we didn't know what we were doing. It wasn't intentionally. We didn't intentionally know, yeah, Almighty, we know it's wrong, but we had no relationship with the Most High to know that it's wrong, right? And so we did it out of ignorance, how we was growing up by our parents and everything. And then when we come to the Most High, we come to the city of refuge, we live righteous and we live clean, and we don't step out. And to know as long as I stay in the city of refuge, because the Almighty is my refuge, that I have the protection of the Most High. Even if I had to suffer, I know I'm looking for a better resurrection. Even if it resulted in my dissolving of my marriage or my relationship with my kids or my job or even my health, standing for the Most High, that I know that I'm looking for new heaven, new earth, and I know that I'll come up in the resurrection, and that's what I'm looking forward. And I'd rather go through anything that life can bring, no matter how hard it is, whether I'm on my deathbed, whether whatever I'm going through, even if I hope I don't have to deal with it, have you watch your kids, some kid are sick or diagnosed with a weird or rare cancer or something, you got to slowly watch them pass away. I really hope I don't have to endure that, but I would rather endure that with the Almighty on my side than be outside this, be out the city of refuge, And it gives you this peace and this calmness. Shalom, Alim Q Muhammad. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So I definitely thank the Almighty. Welcome to True Hebrews United of the Lord Yeshua, that should be loved, holiness instructor, discipleship, drill sergeant, teacher Simon. I don't really say my name very often, teacher Simon. About to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to the creator of heaven and earth and all that is in therein. Give us our white blood cells, our thyroid, our lipid system, all that. Lithomic system. I forgot how you pronounce that. But gives us our health, our being, able to walk, jump, however you are. Even if you're in a wheelchair, the Almighty is giving you life. You know what I'm saying? The one that's not in a wheelchair is thanking probably the Almighty that's not bed rest. Someone that's bed rest and can't get out of bed, wish they were in a wheelchair at least. At least if I could just get in a wheelchair, and someone in a wheelchair is like, yeah, I wish I could walk. There's a video and the person that could walk, wish they were wish they could ride a bike, because he was walking. And the person on the bike looked at another person and wished they were in a car. And the person in the car wished they were in a sports car. And it's like, well, how about we just be grateful for where we're at? How about we just be grateful for where we're at and never cease to. We always want more. Praise the Almighty. You know what I'm saying? Praise the Almighty. It's weird that he could put us in a garden and put two people in the garden and give them everything they want. But guess what? I want to be as a God. I want forbidden knowledge. Still wasn't enough, right? But definitely thank the Almighties for the small blessings, the big blessings, and wake up with gratitude, and it will go a long way. Because a grateful child, you want to bless him more. But an ungrateful child, you give a child a Snickers. Here's a Snickers. Oh, it's not king size. Imagine if you gave a kid a Snickers. And they're like, it's not king size. It's not family size. Give me the Snickers back then. Ungrateful little bastard. I mean, you probably won't call your kids that, but you'd be thinking that, right? Even if they're born in wedlock, you want to call them a bastard, right? So, in like manner, thank the Almighty. I'm not going to just focus on the thing that's wrong. It's not a king size. Almighty, you blessed me with a car, but it's not the car I wanted. Well, does it get you a worker back? Yes, well, thank the Almighty for my ride. I don't have to walk in the snow. I don't have to wake up an hour early and catch the bus. You know what I'm saying? And get off another bus and transfer to this bus or catch the trolley. And then when I'm tired and I worked a long day, I still need an hour and a half for a bus ride. You know what I'm saying? To get off the bus and still walk 4 or 5 blocks to my house after work. Praise the Almighty. Give the Almighty his glory that he deserves. You know? So, thank you. All the brothers and sisters across the whole planet standing for holiness and righteousness, keeping the commandments, statute, judgment, precepts, and ways. All the ministers holding the standard, persuading people to repent from their sin and come to this gospel for it's everlasting too late. All the people in Africa that's suffering from the Muslims that's killing the Bible-believing people in Sudan, in Congo, Nigeria, where they're kidnapping and whatnot. All of them, hopefully they hold strong and be right in the sight of the Most High. Definitely thank the Most High. You know what I'm saying? All the people on the Facebook and YouTube that share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you. I want you to make it to the kingdom. I want you to be saved. We love you unto salvation. Do what it takes. We do Zoom, Sabbath night, we fellowship, open discussion, open questions, talk about anything that goes on, whatever we're going through. You know, it's good for laughter, joy, edification, counseling. It's a major blessing. If you want a support team, you want people to love you unto salvation, jump on the Zoom, Sabbath night, hit us up. Anybody, Brother Vince, Sister Whitney, hit us up. Hit them up too as well. Ask them biblical questions, whatever. We have time. We have time to save souls. We will make time to save souls, right? So, all that said and being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and the scriptures do the talking. James chapter 1. James chapter 1. James chapter 1. Now, I've been on this journey, as you know. I'm trying to get you to take the words off the page and get it into the heart. And I'm trying to get you to look at that. This is spiritual. The word is spiritual, and it manifests in the natural. And don't just look at the word for the direct context of it. It has multiple applications. When he used the scripture, don't muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn. That's in, I believe, Deuteronomy. If you can find that, don't muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn in Deuteronomy. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to find that, but that's in the Old Covenant. Now, Paul also applied to taking care of the ministers. For it is risen, don't muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn. We are his all brothers and sisters in the body. We're planting, we're watering, we're working in his field. The harvest is ready, and we're planting seeds and watering and pruning, and we're trying to bring people to salvation. And when he says, don't muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn, these ministers out there take care of the ministers because they're out in the field, plowing highways and byways, trying to get people saved. Now, the direct context of that scripture is don't muzzle the ox that treadeth the corn. When he's plowing the field for you, let him eat. Don't put a muzzle over him to where he can't eat the whole day because you want him to plow 8 hours straight. No, let him plow a little bit, let him eat, let him plow as he's eating, whatever. It says don't do that, right? In like manner, when we read these scriptures, we have to apply it not only to the context of this, but also how does that apply to other aspects of our life. Go ahead and give me James chapter 1. James chapter 1, verse 1. James chapter 1, verse 1. Let's get it. James, the servant of the Most High, of the Lord Yeshua, Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greetings, my brethren. Count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations, knowing that the trial in your faith worketh patience, and patience, but let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, lacking nothing. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of the Most High, and he giveth to all man liberty. He'll give it freely. And upbraideth not. Oh, you don't know that? You've been serving the Almighty this many years, and you don't know that? And it shall be given. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven in the wind and tossed. For let not that man think he shall receive anything of the Almighty. But here's a key point I want to deal with. Verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that points out, because the direct context is when we pray, You know, if two kids ask for a bike, Dad, I want a bike. Dad, I want a bike. And you tell two kids, yeah, I'll buy you the bike. But then you overhear them in conversation. One kid's like, yeah, I can't wait till Dad buys me a bike. And the other one's like, Dad's not going to buy us a bike. Then you're like, all right, fine, then you won't get a bike. And I'm going to go ahead and give the bike to the one that believes me, right? And so it says, let not that man should think anything. But it says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And so the universal, or the other aspect of that, is when we come to this gospel, not only do we have sin, we have something called characteristic flaws. It could be bad parenting. It could be bad money management. I'm going to show you two examples. And what happens is you say, well, I need to stop cussing, and you'll stop cussing. I need to stop drinking, you'll stop drinking. You need to start fornicating, stop committing adultery, stop listening to this rap, stop watching these movies, stop doing this stuff. You start repenting, you start cleaning yourself, start dealing with that. But these characteristic flaws start bleeding over into your walk with the Most High. And that's where it says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. To the point to where you're not getting your prayers answered of the Almighty, but you're unstable in all your ways. So I'm going to give you some examples, and we're going to come back to James. The double-minded man is unstable in all his ways, not just with the Most High, right? Let's get some examples. So, if you don't control and examine and self-reflect and self-counsel and self-correct these characteristic flaws, these will ruin your salvation. Give me, we're going to start off with procrastination. Basic one, procrastination. You're like, oh, that's harmless. I don't cuss. I don't drink. I keep the Sabbath. I'm not eating pork. I'm not celebrating. Happy New Year's, by the way. It happened two days ago. March 19th at sunset to March 20th at sunset was the biblical New Year's. Happy New Year's. We do have Passover coming up in about 12 more days. Get ready. Passover's in 12 days. All right. Sweet. Feast of unleavened bread. All that good stuff. So be prepared. Ooh. I gotta figure out my diet. For sure. All right. So let's get with this real quick. Man. What? Oh, maybe it's the screenshot. Gallery. Did I screenshot it? No. Camera. All right, there we go. Procrastination is the intentional, unnecessary delay of tasks despite knowing there will be a negative consequences. It is a self-defeating behavior, often driven by anxiety, fear of failure, perfectionism, resulting to increased stress and reduced productivity. And a lot of people that freestyle their weeks and months and stuff, they're bad at this. I can't stand working with them. Common examples includes browsing social media instead of working, delaying chores, or waiting until the last minute for assignments, like with homework and whatnot. You got a test coming up, whatever. Here's some common examples. Work, school. Waiting until night before the deadline to begin the project. Delaying tasks, postponing or cleaning or household chores such as cleaning the room. Kids do that a lot. I'll do it in a little bit, and then it never gets done. Proactive avoidance. Choosing to do low priority tasks, answering emails to avoid high priority ones. And people do that job. They know this needs to be done, so I'll just do all this small stuff that's minor instead of doing the major stuff. Health. Delaying a necessary doctor's appointment. A goal getting, putting off starting a passionate project or a new habit indefinitely. I'll do it later, but you won't have a time or a date when you do it, and then it never gets done. Procrastination. Also, how we say in the Bible is laziness too. Procrastination and laziness are synonyms. They go hand in hand. Could you procrastinate and still get the job done? Yes. But it's unproductive. Procrastination leads to unproductivity because everything is delayed because you don't do it in a timely manner. Such thing as a lazy person. They go to work. I see lazy people 40 hours a week. Do they get a lot done? No, they don't. They do like the bare minimum, or they put it off, or they work slow because they think they're saving energy. But what the energy you save, you will pay later in the money you lose. That laziness costs you, because when it gets slow, you're the first to get laid off. And so you're essentially paying the price to be lazy or to procrastinate. You're paying the price, because when you get laid off and you're missing 6 months or 3 months or 2 months, that's thousands of dollars. When you could have just hustled and reaped the benefit and kept your job, right? But let's keep going. So, Proverbs 6. We're going to be in Proverbs for quite a bit. Proverbs 6. To procrastinate is to be lazy. And that's why I keep telling you guys, being lazy is a sin. Being obese or being overweight is a sin. That's called gluttony. Whether you eat too much in that one sitting or you eat too much throughout the week. If you gain more pounds, and it's not muscle, with the exception of medical situations, there's some medical conditions where you gain weight, you're taking this, and messes up your hormones, that's different. You could probably exercise and deal with that too. With every problem, there's a solution. So even with that, there's probably different diets or different exercise programs you could probably counteract that. I'm not sure, so I'm not going to go too far on that. I'm using the vast majority of people. That's being lazy, and you're defiling your temple, and you're gluttonous when you're overweight and you're obese, right? But Proverbs 6, let's get it. We're going to bring this all back to James chapter 1. Proverbs 6, verses 11. We'll start at 6. Proverbs 6, verse 6. Go to the ant, thou sluggard. That means you're lazy. Consider her ways and be wise. We having no God or overseer or ruler, provided meat in the summer and gather her fruit in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? You're lazy. When will thou arise out of thy sleep? A little slumber, a little folding of the hands. You know what I'm saying? So thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. So you pay the price for being lazy. You think, oh, I'm saving energy. I'm going to be lazy and not get that much done, so I won't be as tired. Or I'm going to be lazy so I can make the job take a little bit longer and make more money. Then when they be like, what's taking this guy so long? Make sure when we get slow, he's the first to get laid off. You know? And so you pay the price. Laziness has a price. And being a hard worker or being diligent has a price, right? Let's keep going. Sing. This is all Proverbs. Give me chapter 10, verse 26. 10:26. Let's get it. As vinegar to the teeth and as smoke to the eyes, so a sluggard to them that send him. When you get something sour, or when you get smoke in the eyes, when you're barbecuing, you get that smoke in the eyes. That's how it is when you be lazy, when you send someone to do a job that's lazy. We have these people now, like the kitchen get redone, it's not ours, and the guy's being cheap, being lazy, and procrastinate. And so like this kitchen he's supposed to do still don't have cabinets in there. Still don't have cabinets. It's been like a month, 2 months. How long could it possibly take to put some wood? You know what I'm saying? I should probably go there and charge him and do it myself. Shouldn't be that hard. I probably do it in a day. Draw it out. Take me about 45 minutes to draw it out. Pull some measurements. Me and Kamari pull some measurements. Figure out what hardware I need. Take a day to get the hardware and everything, all the tools. Do all my cuts in like probably 30 minutes. Install. It'll be easy. But regardless of the fact, lazy. Procrastination. No diligence, right? Chapter 13, verse 4. Chapter 13, verse 4. Let's get it. The soul of the sluggard, that's a lazy person, desireth and have nothing. But the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. You're diligent. You're always moving. You're always making motion. And you're always focused. You're moving. It says the soul, you're lazy. And the weird thing about procrastination and being lazy, right? Procrastination and laziness is it's self-defeating and self-afflicted. Some of you guys are in your position simply because you're lazy. Not, and then they tell you this lie, maybe this is where the Almighty wants me. Don't tell that lie. Don't put that on the Almighty. That's like when people do things and like the devil's trying to get, you're in fornication, smoking weed, doing this, going to clubs. Oh, the devil tried to get me. The devil doesn't, these people always want to blame stuff on the devil. You sleeping with the devil. And now you want to blame things on God. Oh, well, maybe this is just where God has me and I need to be grateful for where I'm at. No, you're not diligent. You're lazy. Don't put that on the Most High. Let's keep going. Chapter 20, verse 4. The sluggard will not plow by the reason of the cold. Therefore shall he beg and harvest and have nothing. They're being lazy. Oh, it's cold. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later on. Once again, being sluggard, being a procrastination, being lazy. Oh, I'll do it later on. Oh, it's too cold. I'll do it tomorrow. And then you're going to beg. And then it's time to plow. And then when harvest comes, you have nothing because you waited too long. You're like, man, dude, I should have just did it. Now it's time to, the rainy season's here. I haven't plowed the ground, so I can't really plant seeds. Man, I should have just did it a month ago. I put it off. Now I don't go. So, last one for that, chapter 26, verse 16. Let's get it. The sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. He thinks he's good. Ask all the lazy people. They think they're all right. And they don't go nowhere in life. And that leads to delusion because they think, this and this, and I'm doing all right. No, bro, you could be 5 times further in life, especially you, man. I'm dealing with you because you have to stay moving. If you're not growing, then you're dying. There is no being stagnant and staying neutral. There is none of that. You need to be proactive in learning more of your word, proactive in being a better person, proactive in getting more knowledge, whether father, vocabulary, money, health. I look up supplements all the time. Oh, I have this situation, or what can I do about this situation, or how can I grow in this area? You always have to be growing. You always have to take the lead. So let's keep going. Matthew 28. Matthew 28. Actually 25, sorry about that. Matthew 25. Messed up right in my 5. It's really it's not an 8, it's a 5. Matthew 25, verse 14. I'm going to read this pretty quick. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling in a far country, which called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, and unto other 2, and unto other to every man according to his several ability. Straightway took his journey. And there he had received 5 talents, went and traded with the same, and made them 5 other talents. And likewise he that retained 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and digged it in the earth, and hid his Lord's money. And a long time the Lord of those servants cometh to reckon unto him with him. And so he that received 5 talents came and brought other 5, and saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. And he said unto him, well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make them rule over many things. Enter thou in the joy of the Almighty. He that also received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou hast delivered unto me 2 talents. I have gained 2 other talents beside them. And his Lord said unto him, good and faithful servant, thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make them rule over many things. Enter thou in the joy of the Lord. But he that received 1 talent came and said, I knew that thou art a hard man, and reapeth where thou hast not sown, and gathereth where thou hast not strawed. And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth, and there that thou hast is thy. And the Lord said unto him, thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sowed not, and gathered thy straw not. Thou oughtest therefore to put thy money in the exchangers, that at my coming I shall receive mine with usury. Therefore take the talent from him, and give it unto him that hath 10 talents. For every one that hath shall be given, and he that shall have abundance. But from him that have not shall be taken away even that which he hath. And cast ye that unprofitable servant into outer darkness, where there shall be weeping and gnashing of the teeth. Right? So, these lazy people, you being lazy, you going to the lake of fire. You guys, almost like you think laziness and obesity is not a sin. You're not going to make it. The reason why I even deal with obesity is because it's a double sin. One is gluttony and two is laziness, because you know what to do. I'm going to look this up. We're going to look up something random. Lifespan of a 300-pound person. Lifespan of 300-pound person expectancy. Decreased. We'll say decreased. Hopefully I worded it right. Okay. Ready? I'm going to read this to you guys. There you go. Ready? A 300-pound person, often into the class of 3 morbid obesity, type 3, not just a little chubby, faces a significantly reduced life expectancy, estimated to be 6.5 to 14 years shorter compared to those with a healthy BMI. This reduction is primarily due to high risk of heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. So you're weighing 300 pounds and you're expected, this is all through statistics, they've been doing this and tracking deaths for many years, on average, 6.5 to 14 years less than the average person that's healthy. Now, you knowing this, these people refuse to change their diet and they refuse to exercise. So they're lazy and they're gluttonous. And they think they're going to make it into the kingdom. They think they're going to make it into the kingdom. And I'm not saying everyone has to be a gym head, but your body is his temple and you're defiling it with all the junk food. Food is supposed to bring nutrition and health. Food is a medicine. People suffering for this, you take that. People suffering from that, you take this. You eat this. You do this. Oh, I need more of my hormones. Oh, you need some fatty acid. Eat more fish. You know, if it didn't have mercury, right? But laziness is a sin. It says you're unprofitable. So that's my question. Are you profitable for the Most High? Because when in the James 1, he says, think not he should receive anything under Almighty. Double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So then when the situation comes with the talents, he says, take that, you wicked and slothful servant. That means you think he was just only wicked and slothful to the Most High? Or that was in other aspects of his life. And that's the reason why we have to work on characteristic flaws when we serve the Most High, is because you're going to have that roll over into how you live and how you serve the Most High. How you lived before you came to the Most High, and you were a procrastinator, and then you come to the Most High, and you think you're going to procrastinate with the Most High. Oh, I'm going to read. Oh, I'll read tomorrow. And tomorrow comes, oh, man, I had a long day. I'll read next. Next thing you know, you went a week. You went a month. Man, I haven't even cracked open my Bible. Why? Because you're lazy. Oh, you use these excuses trying to lie to yourself. Oh, I've been busy, man. I don't know, man. It's just, man, life's been going on. I've been too busy. That's a lie. Then if you're too busy, then that means you have bad time management, bad organization skills, and then you procrastinate. It's even worse by saying you've been busy. Then that means your time management is horrible. Then you need to plan out your day. You need to set alarm clocks. You need to set a designated time that you're going to read. You see how this bleeds over? You think that, oh, as long as I'm keeping the Sabbath and I don't eat pork and I'm not in idolatry and I'm keeping the commandments, yeah, but it's affecting your walk with the Most High still. You're not getting any further in life or with the Most High. Are you even profitable to yourself? If you pay all your bills and you're broke at the end of the month, which everyone has been there and everyone will be there if you have not been there. Right now, you are unprofitable to yourself. Why? Because after your bills, you have no money to save or to do anything. So, you know, seeing this, you need to be profitable. You need to bare minimum to save. You may can't invest, but save for a rainy day. Bare minimum. Bare minimum, get out of debt. Not just pay the minimum credit card monthly payments or a little bit more. No, get out of debt. If your monthly minimum is $30, you should be paying like $100. You should be paying 3 times to get out of debt. 3 times of what your minimum. Your minimum is $50, pay $150. Your minimum is 200, try to be paying 600. What? I can't do that. You shouldn't have put on that much debt then. If you can't afford it 3 times, don't put on that much debt. Here's a thought. Don't get instant gratification. That's the lazy way. Work hard, save up, buy it. You get the big screen TV, you want it now, I'll save and I'll get it in a month. It'll take me a month to save up to get that. Okay, in a month, it's probably $300 cheaper anyways, but I want the TV now, so you get the TV. All right. Sell your future for your present, right? So, let's keep going. Now, give me Ephesians chapter 6. We're going to go a little bit faster. Ephesians chapter 6. And we're going to start at verse 13. Working on my car the other day. Had to drop this tank, dude, and can't get that dirt. Even when you cut your nails like that, I don't know. Gotta wait. Try to wash them. It's like stuck in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's dirty, dude. Dirty looking nails. It's like an eyesore every time I look at them. That grease is just on there. All right, Ephesians 6. Verse 13, wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore, having a loins girt about with the truth, having the breastplate of righteousness, having your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace, and above all take the shield of faith, wherefore you should be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked, because he will come and attack, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of spirit, which is the word of the Most High. But my main key point is I want to deal with verse 13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Almighty, wherefore you are able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand, stand therefore. Right? Are we doing all to stand? You know, if we're unprofitable and we don't like the condition we are, then have we done all to stand? You are living your situation right now you're living in is the condition of what you've been doing the last 6 months, 8 months, 5 years. You know, this is your condition. If you don't like where you are, then you don't like what you've been doing either. You can't split the half. Oh, well, have you tried to get a better paying job? No. Have you tried working on your resume? No. Have you tried to spend more time with your kids? No. Have you tried to do this? No. Have you tried to read more? No. Have you sought counsel? No. All these things you have time and ability to do, and you do nothing, and then now you sit here today and don't like your situation. But you put no direct, focused, diligent effort into improving your situation. But it's so much easier to complain about your situation than to do something about the situation. And that's called laziness. That's laziness. That's being a sluggard. And that will not only ruin your life, but ruin your relationship with the Most High. Because the same lazy people isn't going to fast. They aren't going to read. They aren't going to feed the homeless. They're not going to go up and down stairs handing out tracts. They're not going to try to talk to people at the bus stop or the gas station and try to win souls and bring souls to the Almighty because they're lazy. They're unprofitable. The Almighty's given them this talent and given them 3 talents and given them 5 talents or given them whatever talent. The Almighty's giving you some things that you could go do and work in His vineyard to bring souls to the Almighty, and you don't do it. Why? Because you're lazy. And you think that, well, I'm keeping the commandments. You're still unprofitable. He can't profit off of you. If I show up to work, right, and I don't do anything, if the bare minimum to make money is I need to sell 10 burgers a day, that's the bare minimum to make money, but I'm selling 5, and so essentially I'm just breaking even. I'm selling 9 or whatnot, so they're breaking even, then I'm unprofitable. After I pay you and pay all the utilities and do all this stuff, I make $0. I need to make above, not just to pay the bills. And that's the same thing. Are you profitable with yourself? Are you profitable with the Most High? You determine that, right? Let's keep going. Let's get the shout outs real quick. Vince, Arlita Collar, Couture, Gino A. Wright, Akipay, Kamari, Ariel, Nava, Kashev, Zahara. I appreciate you guys. I want you guys to make it into the kingdom. I want you guys to be saved. Let's keep pressing. Give me Luke chapter 16. Luke chapter 16. Verse 10. Luke chapter 16, verse 10. Let's get it. He that is faithful in a few, faithful in that which is least, is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in least is unjust also in much. If therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who would commit to your trust the true riches? And if you have not been faithful in that which was another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? It says, if you're unfaithful in the little, then how are you going to be unfaithful in much? And how does this tie to procrastination? See, what happens is you want the Almighty to trust you and to bless you, but you don't trust yourself. Because every time you delay, every time you procrastinate or don't finish a task, and we're going to tie this into being double-minded, because procrastinating and double-minded work hand in hand. You could procrastinate and not be double-minded, you just never get it done. And you could be double-minded and not procrastinate, you just keep swapping and never finish tasks. You don't procrastinate, you just completely stop. But most of the time they work hand in hand. So if you're not faithful in the little, what happens is you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself. And so why would the Almighty trust you? If it's like these people that want a wife. Why do you want a wife? Because it says a wife is a helpmate. And I think where the man mess up is they want a wife because they want something pretty to have sex with. And that's not the main reason why he gave Adam a wife. He did say, fill up the earth with humans, right? Reproduce, but replenish. But he says it's good for the man not to be alone. So it's a companion and a helpmate. So if you want a wife and you're going to take the lead, but you cannot lead your finances, but you have no direction, why would you want a wife? It's selfish to take a wife with no direction. It's selfish to take a wife with no direction. Because what do you need? I need a helpmate. What do you need help with? Are you starting a business? No. Are you trying to buy a house? No. Are you trying to do this? No. Are you trying to invest? No. What do you need help with? Help to do nothing? Your finances are in disarray and you can't even lead your own finances, but you want to leave a wife and potentially children to come after that? You want to lead a whole home, but you cannot lead your finances? You cannot save to save your life. But yet you want a wife to lead? Lead to do what? Some of you guys bring women down to the baseline of just sexual objects. You may not say it, but you don't look at them as a helpmate. Because if you look at them as a helpmate, then you need help. And what do you need help with? You're not going anywhere in life. You're doing this 9-to-5 dead-end job. You're not striving to get a better position. You're not striving to start your own business. You're not striving to get a better job. You're not striving for anything. You're just living day by day. You're freestyling your life, and it's in chaos and disarray, and you're not happy, but yet you want a wife to help you do nothing. I want a wife to help me be more of a loser. That's what I need. I'm not saying all you guys, but a lot of people, that's how they are. Even the ones that say in their Hebrews wearing fringes, they want a wife. Why? And then the bottom line, you just want to have legal sex. You don't. It's not that you want a helpmate. You don't value her as a companion. It's good for man not to be alone, a companion and a helpmate. You don't value her for that. You just value her. She's pretty and I want to have sex with her and have some kids. For what? To lead them to where? Where are you going to lead your kids to? To show them what? What example are you showing them? Just to have a job for the sake of having a job, just to pay bills, to be paycheck to paycheck to paycheck and not enjoy life? It says the gift of God is to enjoy the fruit of your labor. So you're just paying bills just to show. What are you teaching your kids? This is the baseline. I'm just going to work and have just enough money to pay bills. And this is how life is we just struggle. We can't live in a life in a bit. Go ahead and accept, son and daughter, of not living a life of abundance. Just paying bills and that's it. Is that what you're leading them to? Is that what you're showing them? Why? Why take a wife? Some of you are the most selfish beings because you take a wife knowing that you're not ready and you mentally as well as financially to take a wife. Once again, that falls into this. If you're not faithful in the little things, then why would the Almighty give you one of his daughters? Why? Why? You could go take whatever you want. You could make it like right now, I go take a prostitute as a wife, whatever, right? But he's not going to give you one of his daughters. If you're not, what do you need a helpmate for? That's the same thing. Like if my son and whatnot want to date, what do you want to date for? You ready to start a family? Well, no. Then why do you want to date? Oh, why do you need a helpmate? If you're dating, it's to see if you're compatible to have a helpmate. But you're not ready. So it's like, why do you need to date? Date when you're ready. If we teach our sons and our daughters that, then maybe they'll get their act together. Oh yeah, let them date when they're 16 and stuff like that. Why? The whole purpose of dating is what? See if you're compatible for marriage. They're not getting married at 16, so why do they need to see if they're compatible? He's 18 years old. Do you got a career, son? You get ready to buy a house? You ready to have kids? No, I'm only 18. Then why do you want to date? You're not ready for those things. You could leave and you could set up shop. You got 401, you got benefits, you got all this stuff. You're fully established? No, they barely struggling. They're probably at McDonald's. Nothing wrong with that. They're probably at these jobs starting off in life. You're not ready to be dating. They do it, and this is where the world does it. This is where STDs come in. This is where broken single parent homes. This is what they do, and this is the results they get. You do it my way, which is according to the word. Not even my way, the word way, is you date when you're ready for marriage. You're dating with attention. These women date because I like the vibes. These men date because she looks good, and you're dating with no attention to marriage. Let's just chill on the vibe. Let's just let it roll. Let's just enjoy each other. You know what I'm saying? And do all that stuff, and that's where Houston have this STD epidemic. This is why all these places STD is on the rise, because they are not dating with attention. Houston, Texas rodeo was like a straight, I think it was sneaky league or one little league where they go and be whores. Debauchery, right? Nah, let's not do that. Let's get it, right? Building trust in yourself. Don't procrastinate, finish the task. Don't let that roll over until you serve the Most High. James chapter 1, we're almost done now. James chapter 1, back to James chapter 1 again. Last scripture. James chapter 1. Yeah, I was seeing this thing about this rodeo. And what it is, a whole bunch of people dressed in like cowboys being whores. Stuff on the bus, public display of intimacy. It's ridiculous. So, nah, let these people go to the lake of fire. They know that's wrong. You don't even need the word to know that that's wrong. Go ahead, get that STD. Make sure you party up. Get those STDs. Good. You get what you deserve. You like playing Russian roulette? Have fun. Have fun. Oh, I got HIV. Oh, you got to take medicine for the rest of your life. Oh, enjoy that herpes bump on your lip. Go ahead. Enjoy the HPV. Enjoy that stuff. Guess what? In a couple of years, syphilis and gonorrhea, they're being more resistant to antibiotics. There's one type of syphilis that they don't even have antibiotics to cure. A few people has already died. A whole bunch of people are having unsafe sex. And it says take it for 6 weeks, and they don't finish it all, right? So they don't fully kill it off. And guess what? That type of syphilis comes back and it has a resistance to the antibiotics because you didn't fully kill it off. So it built a resistance. And now when you pass it to someone else, guess what? They prescribe that antibiotics to that person and it doesn't work because you made it a super bug. And that's because you guys keep saying, well, I took the pill and I'm good now. Ha ha ha. And you go out and say, you feel that me taking pills isn't a pass to go ahead and continue to have unsafe sex. And they don't change it. Oh, dude, maybe I should stop having sex and wait until I'm married. I got an STD. Maybe I repent. Oh, no, dude, they got pills. I'll just take the pill. Or I'll just take this antibiotics and I'm good. I'm going to continue to be stupid. And essentially, that's what they do. And guess what? Look it up. More and more viruses being resistant to that. And blame it on the generation of hoes, male and female hoes, that cannot have no discretion, that live in chaos and have no discipline over their body, where you go outside and I cannot, with my genital region, my member, I cannot have discipline to go and not get an STD as a man. For some reason, I just have to go out there and put myself at risk for an STD. And you women are not even better. You go outside, walk out of that door, and you can't mentally say, I will not get pregnant until marriage. Like, you cannot, what's wrong with you? And you get mad that you're a single parent. But the ability to prevent pregnancy was in your power. Unless you got raped, the ability to not get pregnant is in your power. This whole my body, my choice thing too, that's a prime example why it makes no sense. Because if it's your body, then why do you keep getting pregnant? By bums. Why can't you just say, I'm not having kids until I'm married? Even if you wanted to go ahead and be a hoe, male or female, why do male and females have to have kids and not be in relationships with these people? Why can't you just be a hoe and not doom another life? Because you're bringing a life into this world with the disadvantage of a broken home. It's extremely selfish. Go ahead and be the hoe if you're going to be the hoe and not repent. But why do you got to bring a life into this? Or if the life comes, why do you got to go to abortion, kill it, and kill the life? Like the kid didn't do nothing wrong and I got to die because your guys is lacking discipline. Because you're like accountability for responsibility. Why do I have to die for that? And that's the thing why I don't like hoes. Male or females. Whoremongers is whoremongers. Yes, I get it. They look good, this and this, that and that. But no, there's a right way to do it. And there's a wrong way to do it, right? Let's keep going. So James chapter 1, I'm going to read the last one. Verse 6. But let him act in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like the wave in the sea, driven and when it tossed. For let not that man think he shall receive anything of the Almighty. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Let me show you some examples of double-minded, right? I've done this before, but we're going to do it again. Let's get a screenshot. All right, let's see what's up. New Year's resolution. Most New Year's resolution lasts less than 4 months. Roughly 80% of people give up on them by early February. Wow. Studies show that about 25% of people quit during the first week of January, and only 6 to 9% successfully stick with their resolution at the top of the year. They're double-minded. Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to read the Bible this year. Oh, I'm going to do that. Oh, you're double-minded. You're unstable in all your ways. You're a double-minded. Another example. Being double-minded. Let's look at that. Let's look up double-minded. All right. What? Screenshot that. Bear with me. Alright. I had it all screenshotted, but I might have deleted that one. Let's get it. A double-minded describes indecisiveness, wavering, or hypocritical person who with divided loyalties. Often, now, let me give you the examples of this, because for some reason I got this, but the other one. Indecisive and instability. A double-minded person is unstable in all his ways, but divided loyalties, trying to serve two masters, holding contradictory beliefs simultaneously. You have faith, but then you doubt the Most High. Doubt versus faith. Wavering between trusting the Almighty and solely our self-interest or worldly wisdom. Often see him having two souls. Hypocrisy. Displaying outward appearance of commitment while inwardly acting differently. It says, let not that man think he shall receive anything of the Almighty. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You're not going to, and it's all your ways. It's, oh, I'm going to take you to the park, and you don't. Oh, I'm going to work on this, and you don't. Oh, I'm going to do this. You're double-minded. You're unstable. You get no progress. So, being double-minded leads to instability. And instability leads to inconsistent actions. And inconsistent actions breeds random results. Because you're inconsistent. So your results in life is inconsistent. Oh, I'm going to do this and you don't do that. Oh, I'm going to do this. And random results in life leads to failure in life. You will be a failure because you're inconsistent. Because you're inconsistent, because you have random results, is because inconsistent action. And because of inconsistent action is because you're unstable. And because you're unstable is because you're double-minded. Run that in reverse. If you be double-minded, it will ultimately lead you to being a failure in life. Unless you get lucky, the majority of people that are double-minded will be failures. You will see them 65, 70 years old, still working, and you wonder, why isn't this guy retired? He's been on this planet for 40 years. And I'm talking about the majority. I'm not talking about the person that the economy crashed and they lost their pension, or the woman that her husband died and he was the breadwinner, or the person that, you know what I'm saying, lost their leg and something happened. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the people that were lazy, that didn't apply themselves. You had 40 years of being lazy. You're 60 years old. And so from 20 to 40, you were lazy all 40 years. And now you're 65 years old and you're struggling and you still got to work at Walmart to pay your bills because you didn't want to invest in the S&P. You didn't want to invest in any stocks. You didn't want to learn a new trade. You didn't want to apply yourself. You were double-minded on every single step, every single year, every single decision. You were double-minded and you procrastinated. And guess what? This is what you wanted. You wanted to get to the point to where you're 70 years old and you're still working. No, I didn't. Then from 20 years old to 70, what did you do? You didn't do anything. You did the bare minimum job. You didn't try to excel at that job. You didn't try to get a better paying job. You didn't try to read no books. You didn't try to read no books about money, about marriage, about children, child development. You didn't try to improve yourself in any aspect of your life. In year 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15 years go by super quick. And before you know it, you're 65 years old, you have no pension, you have no 401k, and then you only get Social Security. Social Security barely pays your rent, and now you got to do a part-time job, even though you're supposed to be retired, your part-time job, and combine that with Social Security, and you're going to work until you die. And you're going to blame the economy. You're going to blame every single thing else but your characteristic flaw. But I'm here to tell you today's a day to change. You don't have to live that life. That don't have to be your life. You women out there that are dying alone because you're 40 and 50 years old, remember, when you're 20, you're chasing the streets and getting at that guy, and this guy was tall, and this guy looked good, and you're defiling your body and giving up your body to this guy and that guy and this guy. And the good guys that came, you called them boring. You called them square. The good guy that came that would have been a good father, oh, he's not 6 feet, he's not tall enough. Another good guy that came, you called him, he's boring. He's too predictable. And you passed up the good guys for the bad guys. And now you're 40 years old trying to find a good guy. But guess what? All the good guys are gone. They're tooken. Because the wise woman cuffed a man when they were in their 20s. You spent your whole 20s just living it up. Being a boss girl, chick, or whatever. You spent your youth just... Oh, I got opportunities. I got I get opportunities. Guys are always hitting me up and this. And you spent, instead of trying to lock a man down, you played the game. Now you're 34, 35, And now you're trying to find a good one. That's that good born one, that good square one, that good predictable one. Now you want one of those, but they're all gone. And why? Because the actions. Few women I see when they're single and they're 45 and 65 and whatnot could say that no good guy came. They just lived their whole life passing all these guys, and no good guy approached them. No guy that was husband material or father material approached them, and oh, he's not my type. So a good guy happened, but you didn't want him. And that's the same thing with the Most High. He could send stuff your way, but your own laziness will destroy it. He could literally give you a blessing, but it's going to require effort, like Joshua. Hey, I'm going to give you this land. When Moses died, this land is your guys's. But what did they have to do? They had to fight for it. Joshua, his whole life, had to fight for that land. But it was a blessing. They had to work for it. The Almighty will give you something, a job, an opportunity, but you're too lazy. Your own laziness, your own double-mindedness will ruin it. And then you're going to blame yourself. That's why a lot of depression, I've never really fell into depression like that. So I can't talk too much on it. But I do believe probably half of the depression is self-inflicted. It's because it's choices you made in your past. If I straight get my leg cut off because I'm a diabetic at 60, but I used to, I drink a liter of soda every day, and I drink Monsters and Red Bulls, and I love going to McDonald's. You did all this in your 20s and all this in your 30s. And then in your 40s, you're a diabetic. And then in your 50s, one of your legs get cut off. And now you're depressed because of your own actions. Last one. Don't let these characteristic flaws keep you out of salvation. Last scripture. I think it's every 2 minutes someone gets a toe cut off. Hold on. Here you go. Check this out. This is what happens when you're lazy. I'm telling you, laziness will lead to failure in life. Diabetic amputees are a major, often preventable global health crisis, with the statistics showing a limb is lost every 30 seconds to 4 minutes, depending on the source. In the U.S., about 160,000 amputees occurred, with 80% of non-traumatic amputees caused by diabetic foot ulcers and poor circulation. So every 4 minutes, someone in this world is, did you know in U.S., most amputees, most limbs being cut off in the U.S. is because of diabetes. Not because I was using a sawzall or on a drill, or I fell off, or I got hit by a car and they had to cut my leg, or this got infected and got gangrene, or I got bit by a brown recluse on my toe. No, none of those. It's because of diabetes. Every 4 minutes, someone with diabetes is going to have, for poor circulation, get a limb cut off. A toe, a foot, all the way up to the knee sometimes. And they may fall into depression. Now, if you get your leg cut off and now you have a fake leg and you are depressed, is that self-inflicted depression or not? Because once again, laziness, this is why it's a sin. Because look, there's a natural part of laziness because you're unprofitable to the Most High. Take that unprofitable, wicked, and slothful servant, take him and put him in the hell. Because I sent you to save souls and you chose not to. But that same scripture relates to everything in life, and now you're being lazy because you don't want to change your diet and you don't want to exercise, and now you got your leg cut off. When it says it's preventable, but you choose not to do it. This is why a lot of Christians think that they're going to be saved, but their own laziness will send them to the lake of fire. This is why these people that be diabetes, more likely through gluttony, because you too least body fat, you could be skinny and you're high risk of diabetes too. But a high risk of diabetes is being overweight. And so you need to lose weight. But once again, the laziness kicks in, and compounded with obesity. amplifies your chance of diabetes. And then when you get your leg cut off, then what? Oh, am I supposed to feel sorry for you? Am I supposed to feel sympathy for you? Because 15, 20 years you know to do better and you choose not to do it. And then, oh man, they're going to cut my leg off. That's what you wanted because you worked for it. I'm working for health, so I'm doing my exercise. You're working for diabetes and being an amputee. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are, because you keep eating this way and you keep not exercising. So you're working. This is where you're working towards, because this is where you're going. I'm trying to retire, so I'm investing. I got a job with a pension. I got a job with a 401k. It's probably going to get taken away with this economy crash, but I got other things. Silver, gold, there's other things out there, right? This is what I'm working towards. What are you working towards? Are you double-minded and not working towards anything? Are you lazy? Are you slothful? What are you working for? What are you working towards? So, with all that said and being done, keep standing. Don't drop standards. Give the Almighty a hand clap. Let us not be double-minded.